gorgeous. I also went to just outside of Cape Town. It was one of the suburbs. But I went to a coffee shop and talked with some staff that I guess they could tell we were American when we started talking. And they asked me about, what does it mean to be Black? Do you consider yourself Black? Does your mom, what do you consider us? So it was all friendly. I was happy to answer their questions because I don't know how often it is that in the coffee shop they'll see someone that's American. It could be all the time. I don't know, but with them, I could see it. They were so happy to be able to engage with me and have open dialogue, and I was too. So I think another comment I saw was regarding, I guess, not knowing was a lot of white people there. I heard rumors that South Africa is like the most westernized country in Africa. And if you go there, you're probably not going to have the African experience. But I guess I didn't realize it until I actually went. And maybe it was because I was specifically in Cape Town. But yeah, it really was a lot of white people. So there was this image in my mind of, I guess, there not being as many because it is the motherland. So the other man's not going to be there. But I did also, growing up, learn about apartheid and Nelson Mandela. So it's like you learn it, but you still think, oh, it's not really like that. It's still going to be a lot of Black people. And there was a lot too once I left the airport. But just like over here, there's certain areas where it might naturally, for whatever reason, be a higher white population. In other areas, it might be a higher Black. So I can definitely see the parallels with that. Enjoyed the concert. The concert was great. Concert was like the Grammys. Like the church concerts over here that I've been to are they could be nice, but they're basic. They're not like the Grammys where it's practically fireworks. Like, Martin PK did it up. So had an excellent time, met someone, she was from Zimbabwe, and she was able to teach me some things in Xhosa, like certain words. I was like, this, how do you say hello? How do you say this? How do you say that? And I'm thankful to have connected with her. She just took a liking, and I think it was just good to have an ally, someone that, I didn't know her for that long, but she connected with me and she understood that it's my first time over there. Even when I was there, I didn't say, hey, American here. I was trying to blend in. I wasn't trying to have my camera out so much where it drew attention to me. I wasn't trying to do all of that. And yeah, I was treated really well. I remember it was even this taxi driver that took us to the grocery store that was probably only 2 miles away from where we were staying at. Very nice. The Uber drivers were very friendly, and I just wish I could have stayed longer. There was so much more I wanted to see, but I literally was only there for maybe 3 or 4 whole days because, with traveling to get there and traveling to get back, it takes almost a day to get there and a day to get back. So I want to say I only enjoyed a good maybe 4 whole days. I'll say 3 to 4 whole days of being there. And definitely some people said, man, Alicia, you're crazy for doing that. You only went there for 4 whole days. Well, granted, on the airplane ticket and hotel, basically airplane was basically it said 6 days, but minus the travel time, it's 4 days. So I definitely recommend trying to stay there for a longer period of time. But if you're like me and you just want to go somewhere, you could do it. One of the days I was there, it rained. It was cooler than I thought, which this is probably another trigger warning, so please bear with me. So I thought that it would still be hot. There's a conception over here maybe not all Americans, but a lot of us, including myself before, we view Africa, all of it, as being hot, even though we are versed about the equator, and if you're closer to the equator, it's going to be hot versus further away in northern hemisphere, southern hemisphere, and how, you know, how seasons operate. So I did check the weather before I went there, and I saw it was going to be like the 50s and maybe some 60, touch of 70, but it was maybe like the 50s, 60 and windy. And even though I saw it, I still just had this image of, okay, I'm going to make sure, you know, I'm wearing summery clothes, all of that. I still packed a few sweaters just in case, but the jacket that I packed was actually really thin. It wasn't the thickest jacket. I regret that. Whew. So when I got there, it was warmer, but for the rest of the few days I was there, no lie, I was like always a little bit cold because I underpacked. Even though I saw it was 50 something to 60 degrees, I'm like, it's still gonna be warmer. Maybe their version of 60 degrees is still a warm 60 degrees. No. Check check the weather and try to remove whatever, I don't know, ignorant thing you have in your head about it being hot. It's not hot year round in South Africa. No. I was cold. As a result, I was cold. Like, I wish I could have went shopping for clothes, but like I didn't have that much time. But if I could go back, I would have packed thicker clothes, more comfortable clothing. Some of the pictures that I took, I just felt like my outfit wasn't well put together because I was more so trying to bundle up. So don't make the mistake that I made of seeing the weather temperature, seeing the forecast, and still packing light as if it's it's crazy, y'all. Like, I didn't know, but now I do. That was then, now I do know. So in the future, I wouldn't mind going when it's summertime in South Africa, not in the winter, not in the winter time. And something else I saw, I knew that Cape Town had a lot of signs, or they had something going on with the water, like conserving the water. But fortunately, where I was staying at, they didn't like say anything about limiting it. But when I went to public places to, like, you know, wash my hands or, you know, use the bathroom, I would see the signs talking about, you know, conserve the water, save the water. Once again, I did not say all of those things to offend. And if you felt that way, you have the right to feel that way. I'm not going to tell you how to feel, but it was coming from the perspective of me wanting to belong and wanting to be accepted. So if you get it, great. If not, you don't like me, I get that too. But that wasn't where I was trying to come from. I love South Africa. Did not want to leave. Y'all, I do not want to leave the Cape Town area. I want to stay here. I don't want to go. Thinking like maybe I could get like a green card or a permanent residency card and somehow stay. Like, I'm thinking all these things. I'm like, man, let me just go back home. And I was so sad. Like, the moment I got back home and landed in Philadelphia, I'm like, man, like, here we go. Back here. The food. I was thinking that there would be South African food. But when I asked the Uber driver, I was like, hey, like, tell me a good South African food spot. He was like, South African food? What South African food? Like, what are you talking about? I'm like, you know, South African food. But South Africa is a melting pot, just like the United States is a melting pot of different cultures. So it's not going to be one type of food per se. At least that's how it's portrayed to me. If it's different, feel free to write in the comments below. But he eventually referred us to some restaurant that was like a Tanzanian spot. It was really good. But he couldn't understand when I kept saying South African food. It was like, what are you talking about? So felt kind of crazy there. Other than that, I did try I think it was like their version of American burger. I'm like, let me see how their American burger tastes like. And it wasn't that good, y'all. I'll look up the name of the restaurant, but it wasn't that good. And they had like a lot of, I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was, I do put mayonnaise sometimes on my burger, but it was some other weird cream. And I'm like, what is this? And I don't remember seeing ketchup. Like they didn't put ketchup on it by default versus like us, ketchup goes on a burger. And it didn't even taste like a burger really. So I'm like, okay, that's their interpretation of an American burger. I understand because it's a bit far, but I'm like, that wasn't it. And I tasted their milkshakes, and the milkshake, it tasted really thin, sort of watery. So I don't know if this is all the milkshakes over there, once again, but that was my first impression of the milkshake. It was just kind of watered down, and I was like, ugh. But on another note, I felt like the food over there had less calories. I could tell that had I stayed, I'd probably lose some type of weight, because the food over here overall is definitely very, very heavy. Very heavy is probably why a lot of us Americans, unfortunately, the stereotype is that we're overweight. There's definitely an obesity problem. But even the KFC, and that was definitely like downtown Cape Town, the menu was slightly different, and they didn't have, I don't remember them having potato wedges. I think they just had fries, but not the potato wedges that we're used to. And sidebar, I don't know if KFC sells the potato wedges anymore in America. I heard that they did away with that. I don't know, because I haven't gone to KFC in a while. But the KFC food was good, but I still felt really hungry. I'm like, man, either I eat really fatty foods in America, or they just have smaller portion sizes. So I just noticed overall, every place we went, the portion sizes were a lot smaller, and I was kind of hungry a little bit. Like, I was kind of always somewhat hungry, but then I was hungry because the portion sizes are smaller, and I was usually always doing something and on my way somewhere else. And, my adrenaline was going like, okay, what am I doing next? What's next on the tour bus stop? So, yeah. What was it? What was that called? It wasn't a monkey, man. Was it a gorilla? One of them things. They do have like some type of gorillas or something. So I did see video of that, of one of them taking someone's lunch bag. So I think this was when I was in Cape Point. I did see some signs that basically was like, don't feed the gorillas. Y'all, I saw a sighting of it, and all I could do was freeze. Like, you know how you say, if I ever see a gorilla or something, I'm gonna take out my phone and record it and upload it to social media. I was near one of those cliffs that was like a tourist area where you could see, I guess, the waters at Cape Point. There clearly was a sign that said, do not eat food over here. It attracts the gorillas. And there was this Asian family just minding their business next to the sign, feeding food to their daughter. It was like a slice of pizza. I'm like, okay, whatever. But that thing came crawling up out of nowhere, and I was like, like, what? Hold up. All I could do was like pause. And once I was back on the tour bus, I saw a gorilla just sitting on top of a car. And it's like, this is my car. Wait. So that caught me off guard. That was probably one of the crazier moments that, again, I read about, I saw online, I heard about it, but still seeing it, I just like froze, because what in the world? But anyways, I do hope to visit Johannesburg one day and just visit other parts. I was only there for a few days and I love the people. I highly recommend African Americans going to Africa, whichever country that you wish to go to. I do plan to travel to more countries. That was just the beginning. And again, that was my first major international trip ever. Like, I've never even been to Europe except after I left Africa, going at a layover, basically. Like, that was my first true international trip. Plane ride was cool. Yeah, that's about it. So let me know your thoughts. I just wanted to give you a better perspective, and I do plan on adding some more videos or slideshows from when I was there, and I do hope to add on to that. Okay. All right, you guys, leave a comment, thumbs up, let me know your thoughts. Bye.